Today we will be crafting and reading about crafting. Hi friends, welcome or welcome back. I'm MC and I have been trying to figure out what book I wanted to do a reading vlog for a while now, and then my hold of Crafting for Sinners came in from the library. It's a little hard to see because this cover is completely black, but I thought this was perfect because this is going to be my first reading vlog here on the channel, and some of you might know me, but some of you might not. And I am a big crafter. I am a knit and crochet designer. I am a yarn dyer. I am a fiber artist of many kinds. And so I thought it would be really fun to read this book, Crafting for Sinners, and do a little crafting while I'm at it. So I can show you a little bit of what life looks like for me, because I will often craft while I'm reading. Not all the time. I do a lot of reading without crafting. I do a lot of crafting without reading, but I do overlap them sometimes. So I'm gonna get started on this book. I am finishing up the toe of a sock right now. And then we will see what other projects I pull in. I have several other things that I'm working on. One that I'm more excited to get to than the sock, but I figured I'm very close to being done with this. So let's just finish it up. And we're gonna get into this book. I know nothing about this book. I remember when it was announced, I read the synopsis and I thought, yes, oh my gosh, have to read it. And I added it to my TBR and I added it to the notifications list at my library so that the second it, bless you, Shandy just sneezed. I have a dog named Shandy. Don't know if I've said that on here yet, but I added it to my list at my library so the second that they added a copy of it, I would be notified of it, and I got right onto the holds list. So, but since then, I don't remember what this book is about. Not a clue. So we're gonna get set up. We are going to knit. We're gonna read. I'm wearing a knitting themed shirt today. You might see a couple of my other ones throughout this time that we're reading together. I have a little kitty here next to me on the couch. This is Miko, which you will meet in a second, and let's get going. I'm not that into Squishmallows. I know some people are, and that's okay. But this size, I believe, is 12 inches. Literally the best back support I've found. It's amazing. It's perfect. I love to sit here with these. It's so good. Want to say hi, Miko? He's hiding. Love you. Okay, I am done with my sock, except for, you know, like finishing things off. And I have read about 40 pages. And I don't know yet. Basically, we are following, our main character is named Ruth, and she is in a relationship with Abigail. And they live in a very, very, very small town in Kentucky that has kind of been taken over by a mega church called the New Creationists. Um, that's not one of my favorite things to read about, uh, but we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going and give it a shot. It definitely seems interesting. So Ruth is a crafter. Specifically, right now, she is knitting, which is what I was just doing. And she has been commissioned to make a baby blanket for someone. And she does this to make a little bit of extra money on the side. Her and her partner are trying to save up to move out of this little town. And Ruth does all kinds of crafts for commission, so I love that. And the New Creationist Church has a craft store that is called New Creations, and that's where she gets a lot of her craft supplies. So that's really kind of all that's been happening so far. Just kind of meeting the characters, getting to know a little bit about their backstory and their life in this teeny tiny small town. I do know that Ruth is diabetic, and that has been talked about enough that I feel like it's going to be coming back for us. I don't know how I feel about that. I've read a couple of books where diabetes, type 1 diabetes in particular, is used as a plot device, and I don't know. I don't know. But it's definitely been talked about enough already in the first 40 pages that I'm like, we're gonna see this again. So that's all we're at so far. So we will keep going. I am going to wrap this sock up, do some math for another project that I'm working on because, like I said, I do knit and crochet designing, so I need to do some math before I can start working on my projects. So I'm going to do that so I have something new to knit on the next time that I'm sitting down for reading this. I'll also probably do some reading before bed tonight, but I will not be knitting when I do that. So we will see where I'm at the next time we talk. We are back and it has been a couple of days. Our little puppy Pants got sick. If you can hear rustling, she is now feeling a lot better, and so she is rolling around and making noise and playing with her smorgasbord of toys. But she was sick for a few days, really bad. Not really bad, not really bad. She was okay. We were never like super, super worried, but she needed us like almost constantly. Do you want to come say hi? Come here, come on up. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi, my belly's doing better. Thank you. Thank you. Say hi, everybody. Say hi. Say hi. I'm doing better. I swear. I am. Yeah. Anyway, she was having some issues and she was basically waking us up like every hour of the night. She was having some emergencies. She was not well digestively, but she is doing much better after a nice trip to the vet and some medicine and some food that is easy on her belly. Anyway, this is enough talking about the dog. I basically have not read a ton in the past couple of days because I was so tired. I was so tired. And I was like working during the day and she was keeping me up all night. And so when I was reading, I was kind of like laying down and listening to an audiobook and just like existing. So I haven't read too much of this, but I did read a little bit more. I'm just about to get to 100 pages in, which is about 30-ish% of the book. And I completely forgot the other day that in addition to the main story of this book, there are some podcast excerpts that are sprinkled throughout it. So there was one at the very, very start of the book, and then I had completely forgotten about it until the second one popped up. I had no memory of this happening. That is so bad, and that is how out of it I've been the past couple of days. But there are podcast excerpts about the cold case of 3 missing people, and I guess we are probably to assume that they're related to what is happening to Ruth, but there's no like actual connection. I do have a hunch of something, so we will see if that happens. Today I'm going to work on a dress that I am designing myself. So I'm going to be knitting on that. It should be a bit easier than our sock that we were working on the other day. And here we go. I'm just gonna get to some reading, and we'll touch base in a little bit. Okay, we are about at page 150 now, and I think it is safe to say that my hunch was correct. We haven't actually officially been given the answers, but a lot of information has been given, and I feel like this is the assumption that we are meant to be making. So, oh my gosh, it's getting so dark. I'm liking it so far. We're like rapidly approaching the 50% mark. We're almost there. And I'm having a good time reading this book, but I'm not dying to get back to reading it. And when I start reading it, I'm not like, oh my gosh, I can't put this down. So I'm enjoying myself, but it's not wowing me. It is also really gross in certain moments. It's not like constantly gross like a slasher or something like that, but there are a couple of scenes that are intensely gory. And I feel like there was a little bit of time, maybe like 25 to 35% markers of the book where I was kind of like, okay, things are dragging on a little bit, but I think we're starting to pick up, starting to get some information. The stakes are getting higher, so I'm gonna keep reading. I'll check in with you a little bit later, let you know how I'm liking it. So far, so good. Not the best thing I've ever read. Also wish there was a little bit more crafting, you know? I thought the book was supposed to be about crafting. I can't wait to actually read the synopsis of this once I'm actually done with it and see what this book is supposed to be about. Hi friends, I just was filming a video for my other channel and I figured I had a second and I have to fold some things because there's chaos around me, and I thought I would just give you an update on where I am in our book. I have just passed page 200, so I'm officially 2/3 of the way done with the book, and it's definitely, things are picking up and more is happening, but I'm still feeling a little bit bored. I don't feel like it's that exciting right now. It's moving really, really slowly, and I wish that it would move a little bit faster. And I also feel like for a book that is only 300 pages, that's not a really super long book. And it feels like not a lot has happened in 300 pages. Like, well, only 200 pages so far, but I don't know. I just feel like I should be getting more. I feel like we're spending a lot of time in the same scenario, and I wish it would be more exciting. I also am kind of a little bit confused about, so I mentioned the podcast episode excerpts. So there were only 2 of those, and then it transitioned into a kind of like a chat room type thing. So there's like very small snippets of a mixed media type, like other things are coming in to give us some background story and make us think about what's happening outside of the insular story of our main character. But I feel like you gotta commit or not commit, you know what I mean? And there's not enough of them. Like, I've only had 3 instances of things happening in 200 pages. I feel like if you're gonna have a mixed media element, I need more than that. Because at this rate, I might get 1 more before I'm done with the book. And that just doesn't feel like enough, you know, to me. But anyway, we're gonna keep reading. I don't have time to sit and read today, so I'm probably just gonna be reading in bed tonight. And I will absolutely not be filming that. But I will keep you posted. We will see how it goes. I'm not hating it, but definitely not as excited about it as I had hoped I would be when I first heard about this book. Okay, the universe is not as invested in this video as I would like it to be, because as soon as I filmed that last update, I got a gigantic migraine and it has lasted for days. So, Shani, what's up? Come here. Come here. Say hi again. Thank you. Say, it wasn't me this time. It wasn't me this time. I swear. Anyway, I finished the book. I finished it in fits and starts over the past couple of days, here and there, when I have been able to sit down and read and not be miserable because of my migraine. So this vlog did not go as planned, but you know what? What vlog does, if we're being real, right? Everything is always gonna go a little bit off kilter here and there because that's just life. I finished this book and I have to say, I think I'm gonna give it 2 stars. Ultimately, it was just a miss for me. There were a couple of plot holes that came up in the last third of the book, and I know I tend to be less lenient on plot holes than other people are, but these ones were small and not a big deal, but so easily avoidable that it bothered me that there were these plot holes. And ultimately it kind of felt like we were stuck in the same scene for just like the entire book. And I did end up going to Goodreads and reading the synopsis because I was like, what made me want to read this? I was so excited about this book and I've been wanting to read it for so long. And the tagline says, or like the first line of the synopsis says, a queer woman must fight her way out of a big box craft store run by a diabolical religious cult in this gripping survival horror novel by Jenny Kiefer. Yada, yada, yada. And like, is that technically what happened? Yes. But I feel like we were in the same scene for like 80% of the book, just kind of repeating itself. Like, I have to get out of here, and then a thing happens, and then I have to hide, and then I have to get out of here. Also, I felt that the diabetes was completely used as a plot device. Now, take this with a grain of salt. I do not have diabetes myself, but I think it is fantastic to show this disease that a lot of people don't understand in literature. I think it's great. 100% behind it, love it, but I don't love it when it is used as a plot device. It just, I wasn't very happy with it. And again, take that with a grain of salt, because this is not me speaking from my own personal experience with it. However, it is something I'm very familiar with, although I don't deal with it myself. Anyway, I was really disappointed in the book in the end, and I was disappointed in the end of the book. I really feel like the twists were kind of very obvious from the beginning. Like, when I said that I thought I had a hunch at the beginning of the book, that ended up being like the big twist of the book, and I feel like it was so simplistic. The twists were like glaringly obvious. So were we supposed to be in suspense? Were we supposed to be surprised? If you were paying attention at all, probably not really, because it was so obvious. It was just a disappointment. It was a disappointment. I'm gonna give it 2 stars because I don't think it was very good. I don't think it was a great book. I don't think I would recommend it to people that much. There was actually very little crafting in it. Very little crafting, a tiny bit at the very beginning and a tiny bit at the very end. The only thing was that it happened to take place in a craft store. One good thing about this book, though, is that in the author's note, the author mentions that someone handmade the crochet piece that is on the cover of the book. I will pop in a picture here because that is awesome. And also apparently the lettering was hand painted as well. So this entire cover, truly a work of art. And I hate to say it, but I think that that is the best thing about this book. Unfortunately, it was a miss for me, and I don't like that because, you know, you want a vlog to be fun and you would love to have a good outcome in the end. But this was 2 stars. I am definitely committing to that. Committing to 2 stars. But in good news, we did get a lot of work done on a dress this week. I will keep you posted if you want to know how that ends up going in the end. And let me know if you'd like to see any more vlogs, hopefully ones that maybe have a slightly better outcome. And until next time, take care of you. I hope you're reading something good. Let me know what you're reading this week, and I will see you later. Bye.